he wins the Luke Nupp Racing 200. Minute can't get to the inside. Dane Cruz is there as they come through the tri-oval. Jeffrey Armistead is going to win the iRacing.Funny 250. Mayor's going to block, coming down to it at the line. It's going to be, I think, Dylan Parker's going to go back-to-back. He will win here at Darlington. And Luke Nupp is going to be a winner in the Slide Job Racing League for the first time. He scores first time in his career. Blaze McKinney is a winner in the Slide Job Racing League. He takes the victory here at Kansas.
Across the line, Dalton Kilroy is your winner.
Jonathan Parker scores the victory, and then more importantly, he scores the Season 10 championship here in the Slide Job Racing League.
It's Slide Job Night in America. Tonight, the stars of the Slide Job Racing League head to Richmond, Virginia for the Virginia is for Lovers 150 on this Valentine's Day Eve. We welcome you here on JCTV. Season 12 getting underway. We've had a couple good races so far, but now we look to head forward. It is time for some short track racing here with these Xfinity cars. It should be a fun one. Dawson Allen in the booth, as always, joining me tonight. We're going to have a whole array of crew members here tonight on JCTV. We, of course, got the one, the only, Josh Coppernell of JCTV joining us. But also, too, we will have Adam Kuhn joining us as a pit reporter and making his broadcasting debut with us here on JCTV. Please give a warm welcome and welcome to the JCTV family, Hunter Peach. Guys, it's going to be an exciting race here at Richmond. Short track racing is always a lot of fun, and it's also pretty hectic and chaotic. I want to start with Josh. Tell me what you think it's going to be like tonight.
Well, first of all, I think you mentioned it. It is a short track. I think we're going to see some short track tempers flare tonight. I have heard that it is a little bit tough to practice out there. Passing might be difficult, so I think that we're going to see some bumpers being given, which could lead to those short track tempers you can see. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys do it out there tonight. Awesome. Hunter?
I think it's going to be quite interesting. I know a lot of people, this track's very hard on tires, a lot of rhythm, and I think cautions will be the big difference of this race. I know treat this kind of like Bristol, you get in that rhythm, that caution flies out and mess up your whole thing. So I think it's going to be more of a rhythm race than it is just anything, more patience.
Yeah, it's all about patience. It's all about making sure that you can make the right move at the right time, and that's just the key to any short track race. You see, we have a big field tonight so far. It looks like we're up to about 34 drivers ready to go, and Adam's going to be down on pit lane reporting. Adam, what have you been hearing at the start of this practice here as we head towards qualifying?
A lot of different things, like Josh mentioned at the start. A lot of guys unhappy with the way the track is right now, with a lot of people crashing and ruining other guys' hot laps or trying to get on a hot lap or something like that, and just a lot of chaos out there with this being a short track. But some guys trying to bring up strategy already, trying to bring in other trends from Richmond races recently, trying to put it into factor tonight, see what can happen with long green flag runs, maybe trying to not pit if possible, and hope for a caution on the blend.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of different strategies, I think, tonight in this race. It's a big strategy kind of race. Richmond it allows for so much. With it being a 200-lap race, the doors open for a lot of different things, and, we'll definitely see that kind of play into a factor. But right now, let's look at your practice times. Bridger Olson currently sits atop the leaderboards with Jonathan Parker second. Michael Kruger is third. Then it's Jared Wilson and Ethan Fonseca Moreno running out the top five. Josh, we've seen a lot of speed out of those Cruise Autosport teammates this season thus far, out of Caden Atkins and Bridger Olson. What are we expecting to see going forward as this season progresses?
I think, business as usual for them. The speed is still going to be there. Of course, Bridger Olson is P1 on the board right now in practice. Tonight is going to be competitive. The times are really close, but, as far as those guys, it's going to be business as usual. And You know, Bridger, he's a really good racer. I think he's going to go out and try to hold on to win this thing, but it's not going to be easy at all.
No, we've seen it a lot too, you know, with the way this practice has gone. You know, we mentioned, you know, Adam mentioned it too. A lot of drivers unhappy with how things have gone because of how chaotic it is. You know, a lot of guys trying to figure this track out. There's Jeffrey Armistead, 8th place, spinning out on the front straightaway. You know, it's just a big mess trying to figure out this racetrack together with everybody out on track together at one point. But, you know, it's going to be even more tough to navigate in the race as it goes on. We see a lot of guys out here together, a big gaggle of cars. Looks like that is, I want to say Jamie Wright leading this group. It's Jamie Wright. I believe that's Ty McIntosh, Gabe Cazzola, Donald Stern spinning to the inside, Sean Kissany. All of them are running a Five Nights at Freddy's themed paint scheme. This team always will find a way to have a theme night where they race one single theme of paint schemes together. We've seen them do South Park. We've seen them do the Flex Steel family of products, and tonight it looks like it's going to be Five Nights at Freddy's.
I think it is pretty cool what they do with their teammates like that. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm really not sure what it is other than a horror video game. And I know they made a movie, which I haven't seen the movie, but pretty cool that, you know, they are able to all get together and have schemes like that. And just have some fun.
Well, we're getting down to the end of practice here, so first things first, we're going to start with Adam, our in-race reporter. What do you have picked as your driver to win tonight's race, Adam?
Going to pick one of the big names off the table first. I'm going to go with the one to Dane Cruz. He's not that far up on the leaderboard, but I think this track is going to come to him and suit him a lot better in the long run when we get into the rhythm of this race. Something that Hunter mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Once we kind of get into the rhythm of the race and a lot of the strategies are determined, I think Dane Cruz is going to be at the top of the leaderboard.
I'm going to go with Jeffrey Armstead. Looking at his laps, he seemed pretty consistent to his practice right now. And I'm really thinking if he can manage that, get in clean air, I think he ultimately has a shot just to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I want to pick somebody and say he's kind of a long shot, but I really don't think he's a long shot. Currently 4th in practice, Jared Wilson. When he shows up, and he puts a lot of speed down. I think Jared Wilson is going to give it all he's got tonight, and he's going to be the one in victory lane.
You guys are kind of glossing over somebody I think that's going to be a threat to win. We've seen him win this year so far on JCTV, but he has yet to pick up a victory in the Slide Job Racing. I think tonight is the night that Michael Kruger finally gets that monkey off his back and wins here in the Slide Job Racing League. This will be Michael Kruger's first career win. But that is our picks to win. We got about a minute left in practice. Everybody trying to get that last minute, use it up wisely if they can. With all the chaos that's been going on around the racetrack, it's going to be a lot of work to do so, but we'll see what they can do. Bridger Olson still sitting pretty on the top of the charts with Jonathan Parker, Michael Kruger, Jared Wilson, as you mentioned, and Ethan Fonseca Moreno being your top 5. Another notable name right now, 14th fastest, is Dylan Parker. Dylan Parker is the only driver in the field that has ever won a race at Richmond before here in the Slide Job Racing League. We've had plenty of other winners in other races before, 6 races, in fact, before this one tonight, but no other former winner is in the field except for the number 3 of Dylan Parker.
Dawson, I think he's got a really good shot tonight as well. You know, he always in practice, qualifying, he's never up front. Then in the race, he is. He's also got a Pepsi logo on his car. I think that's going to give him a lot of horsepower, and he's going to be up front.
You think Pepsi's the one you move?
I do. In fact, I just cracked open one.
I like Coke more than Pepsi.
Well, you see, it's pretty funny because I do have a Coke sitting right next to me ready to crack open and go. So we've got the war of the drinks here in the booth. But qualifying is now getting ready to begin here. We've got about 34, 35 maybe entered for tonight's race. A good field here for Richmond Raceway. And we're going to see qualifying begin. And for a shocking occurrence, it looks like Dylan Parker is actually going to qualify. He's gridded up on the grid, but he's not rolling, so maybe not. So we'll instead go to the 56 of Oscar Enriquez. Of course, this is not the Amsoil Truck Series. Cameron Caldwell fixed that ASAP. This is, in fact, the Slide Job Racing League. So we'll see if we can fix this. Oscar Enriquez begins his first timed lap.
It was a nice looking paint scheme.
Paint from Oscar Enriquez Designs. Or excuse me, Enriquez Designs. He doesn't like the OED. He is just the ED. But you see that 56 JCTV machine heading into turn 3, getting ready to complete his first timed lap.
I think the pole's going to come whoever hugs that yellow line, doesn't scrub off speed on the exit.
Right now, that pole spot belongs to Christian Pacheco with the fastest lap time so far. Enriquez coming around for his second timed lap. It's going to be a 22.689. 7:06 actually going to be the slowest lap time so far. Jeffrey Armistead currently sitting on the pole. Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Now Michael Thorpe Jr. jumps to the pole position. A lot of bouncing back and forth. How about, yeah, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Dalton Kelly just jumped up to second and third.
Jurgensmeyer coming out 4 for his second lap.
Didn't improve his second lap, but his second lap that did improve, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, your current pole sitter.
Yeah, you can never count him out at any of these tracks. He'll somehow find a way. Always has speed, no matter if it's a road course or not.
Last season's favorite, Luton Up, out on track. He is on his first lap.
This might be my favorite paint scheme out of the whole entire group so far.
21.809, P3 for Luton Up. It's a pretty good looking paint scheme, but I still like the ones with the Pepsi on them.
Not the Five Nights at Freddy ones?
No.
Interesting, just realized the top 2 technically tied in times. Oh, had to go to the thousands on that one, so.
Yeah, Luke Knupp was not able to improve on his second lap, but yeah, just barely off. 4 1,000ths of a second was the 4 1,000ths of a second is the gap between Michael Thorpe Jr. and Ethan Fonseca Moreno, and it looks like we might have one more driver out here qualifying, that being Jared Wilson in the 83. Dylan Parker as well is actually turning lap times. Jonathan Parker as well is out on track, so we'll try to keep tabs on both these drivers, Jared Wilson and Jonathan Parker. And you know, something about Jonathan Parker, just to mention, he told me once before he likes to qualify really late because he likes to have a carrot to chase, and I think he's got a good carrot to chase right now. Third fastest on the board for JP.
7 1,000ths of a second off in that first lap. That's incredible.
Jared lost it in 1. He drifted up too high. I think he had too much rear brakes in it.
We go to watch Jonathan Parker cross the stripe. Was not an improvement on his first lap, so he'll start third.
I will say that top 4 is a lot closer. Oh, never mind. Dylan Parker just went top of the board.
Yeah, how about Dylan Parker? We don't usually see him qualify. Usually he likes to start out back, but tonight decided to go for a pole run. 21.771 for the 3 machine.
I was about to say how close the top 4 were in time, and then Dylan Parker comes out here and sets one just faster than all of them.
About Hunter Karsten out there on track. This lap here is not going to be good at all. He was really high. I think he was really trying to save everything he had for the second lap. 22.404 P25. Yeah, a little bobble there off of 2.
Looks decent. I thought he clipped the apron a little bit. 3 and 4 looks really good. I think it's a good solid lap for at least top 15.
22.129. 22nd.
But that will be it for qualifying. So we can get rid of that little bug down at the bottom, and we can show you your starting grid for tonight's running of the Virginia Is for Lovers 150.
All I'm going to say is what a shocker that was for Dylan Parker to go top of the board. I don't think no one predicted that.
No, because no one expected him to go out and qualify, but here he is. Starting on the pole position for this race tonight is Dylan Parker. To his outside is going to be Ethan Fonseca Moreno in the number 29 machine. Starting in row 2, it's going to be Michael Thorpe Jr. and Jonathan Parker, your defending series champion. Row 3 sees Luke Knupp and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Row 4, you'll see Dalton Kelly and Jeffrey Armistead, teammates, starting in row 4. And row 5, regular top 10, is going to be the 41 of Michael Kruger and the 1 of Dane Cruz.
Starting 11th, Christian Pacheco, Jaden Porter will start outside row 6, B12. 13th goes to Ty McIntosh, Gabe Cazzola, 14th. 15th, Jamie Wright, Jared Wilson. My pick to win, 16th. Starting 17th is Sean Kissane, Jacob Locklear, 18th. Jax Glenn Austin will start 19th, and Bridger Olson will start 20th. Hunter.
Rounding out the top, after the top 20 is going to be Brett Bennett in 21st, Hunter Karsten up in 22nd. Then right behind them you have Jake Scarborough in 23rd and David Stern rounding out 24th. And you have Ryan Boogie in 25th with Matt Steiner. And right behind them you have Cameron Lopez, I'm not even going to try to mispronounce it, in 27th, and then Dylan Tacker in 28th. Right behind them you have Oscar Enriquez and Micah Walls. Could be a sleeper pick tonight.
And then starting in 31st is Caden Atkins, Doug Denise, 32nd. 34th, Matthew Chastain. 35th, Robert Lukens. Numbers are not numbering there. 33rd doesn't show up at all for some reason. 35th is what it should be. Anthony Marshall rounding out your field, starting shotgun on the field. So quick race analysis here. It's 200 laps at Richmond. Clear skies. It's 150 miles. We're getting ready to go racing. Dylan Parker.
Guys, yeah, real quick. Dylan Parker got out of his car right after the grid, so he's going to be starting from pit lane after all.
I think that's a smart move by Dylan Parker. He's going to try to avoid any chaos. He has the first pit stall, so leaving pit lane isn't going to take him forever. So I think it's a smart call from somebody we like. We always talk about seeing him start the back and make his way forward. I think that's what we're seeing out of Dylan Parker. It looks like Caden Atkins also starting from pit lane. Or at the very least, he has yet to find his way to pit lane. The two cars nowhere to be seen.
Matt Steiner is on pit road, yep.
Now, I think Dylan Parker just wanted to give a happy birthday present to Michael Thorpe Jr. Because Thorpe will have the P1 position. By the way, Thorpe literally just turned 20. So happy birthday to Thorpe.
I know we're about to get them bells there, but again, kind of get set to go. Ambitions are running. I just don't like the move by Dylan Parker. I feel like through the short track, you got to get positions. It's going to be a transition race, but here we go.
Pace truck is off. Michael Thorpe Jr. going to lead the field to the Geico restart zone. The green flag is out. The Virginians for Lovers 150 is underway. Michael Thorpe Jr. going to lead lap 1, but he has got company. Luke Knupp to the inside.
We've seen this one before.
Boy, have we.
Knupp is still to the inside of Michael Thorpe Jr. Thorpe goes a little wide. Still to his outside, though.
Yeah, Luke is not fully clear, but Thorpe, he's still putting the pressure there in the outside lane. Getting a better exit off of turn 4, but Luke wants to try to get this race lead quickly. Maybe a little contact there.
That's what I'm about to say. They were close on each other's quarter panels there. And this is good short track racing right now, pinching on each other.
I still don't think they're on each other's Christmas card list.
No, not at all. They are racing like it's the last lap right now. Everybody else kind of just single file. These two just want the lead for themselves.
Thorpe with the outside lane is going to get the momentum rolling off the corners. Can he clear yet of Luke Knupp? It doesn't look like it yet. Now he does. Michael Thorpe Jr. clear back out front for the race lead. Now back in the background, Jonathan Parker to the inside of Ethan Fonseca Moreno. This is for third.
Moreno actually going to be able to clear Parker. Yeah, he does. Now getting down to the bottom.
Now the field getting single file pretty much behind Michael Thorpe Jr. all the way back. It looks like, man, it looks like everybody pretty much a single file for the most part. Well back in the field as you see them all down the back straightaway here. Oh, next to nobody's really side by side. You had to go all the way back. It looks like Michael Walls is the first car that is in a side-by-side position, and that's for about 27. I mean, you know, there's really not a lot of side-by-side racing right now, except for right there, Luke Knupp has Moreno there on the outside. Jonathan Parker trying to get back inside, just can't quite get a run yet. Moreno
Dylan back in 29th got shuffled out of line. I think they got that settled out. He's going to fall right behind. I believe that is McGill, a great road course racer.
That front battle for third still ongoing between Jonathan Parker and Ethan Fonseca Moreno. And you know, Jonathan Parker. Go ahead, Josh.
Moreno actually blinked out there for a second. It almost looked like Jonathan Parker was going to go to the inside of Luke Knupp while Moreno was to the outside of Luke Knupp, but Parker thought better of it.
The thing I'm weighing my time on, I'm waiting when we get that 15 laps in this run and we start seeing these times with those tires start to kind of wear off and kind of see people gradually, either they're going to start diming the corner, maybe they might show some corners about the middle. But I would say about 20 to 15 laps, we should start seeing it kind of change.
Michael Kruger to the inside of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. This is for fifth.
Kruger going to tuck back in the line.
Oh, Moreno gets the outside wall there on the front straightaway. Here comes Parker to the inside. Might get a chance to try and clear the 29 through 1 and 2.
They're still going to be side by side. That outside line is a great defensive line, but it's not where you want to be just to run your race. Moreno to use that outside line as best he can to try to hold off Parker.
All right, Josh, how long do you think everybody minds their P's and Q's for right now?
Yes. Depending on who you are.
These two still side by side, Parker and Ethan. Ethan doing a really good job pinching down, but still giving quite a bit of space. Yeah, doing an awesome job. I think Parker's going to get him here in about 2 laps.
Kind of sounded like Ethan got the wall again there on the front straightaway, but they still remain side by side. Parker is still trying to put the pressure on to get by Moreno, but Moreno is not giving it to him yet. Not too far up ahead of Michael Thorpe Jr. Looks like we got our first bit of lap traffic, that being the 38 of Matthew Steiner.
Steiner is already a lap down as well, so this would put him 2 laps down.
A shout out to using his government name, Matthew Steiner. It's Matt Steiner. He goes by Matt Steiner, but, you know, currently last place, 35th.
The battle for lead starting to heat up. I think Knupp might be faster than Morgan.
I think Luke would be very happy. Luke would be very happy with you calling him Knupp, because for the longest time, he kept telling me it was Knupp and not Nupp, so he'll appreciate that one. But Thorpe trying to hang on from Nupp, who is chasing him down right now, coming up on lap 17 of 200 at this racetrack. Lap traffic up ahead, the 38 of Matt Steiner. We'll see what the leaders are able to do to get by him and try to put him behind him as quick as possible. And there's a really big drop-off from 9th to 10th. Looks like Dayton Cruz to Ty McIntosh, about a second. 1.2 seconds is the gap between those two. Everybody else, the top 9, really right here in this lineup together as they'll get by the 38. You know, it's kind of about 2 separate packs. Ty McIntosh leads this second pack. Behind him, it's Jayden Porter and Christian Pacheco battling for 11th.
That last lap by Michael was a whole second slower than his fast lap time, so the lap time definitely starting to go a lot slower now. You can kind of see it now with the pace, with the field starting to separate. Starting to see the fast cars are in the long run compared to short runs.
Dalton Kelly stuck behind Matt Steiner, trying to get by him, or trying to at least get around Dane Cruz and Jeffrey Armistead, not able to do so. So Kelly falls back to 9th But a good run so far for this 03 machine, top 10 speed so far.
Actually, pretty impressed with Dalton Kelly right now. Sitting, what, P9? Yeah, P9. I think I've kind of learned that he is a good short track racer. I'm showing that tonight once again.
Battle for the lead. Bruin heating up. On the back bumper, the 34. Luke Knupp is there.
You mean Knupp?
Yeah, Luke Knupp going to the lead over Michael Thorpe Jr. If he can get there, side by side they go, completing lap 20.
It's okay. People mispronounce my last name, so it's all good. I'll help you out.
Yeah, I didn't even want to attempt to the first time I saw it.
Fair
Thorpe?
enough.
Yeah, Josh Cooper and Hunter Peich is who's in the booth tonight.
I think there's a little bit of contact right there off a 4 between Knupp and Michael. I think Ethan and them just biding their time, biding their lips right now, waiting for this battle to end up.
Luke is really good in the middle of the corner, but the exit that we talk about, how good it is defending on the outside, you get such a better run on exit through the corners than you do, comparative, to the inside lanes. So Thorpe is able to benefit from that. He's able to stay ahead of Knupp because of that. But Knupp has better corner, middle of the corner speed. So that's where he's able to kind of keep competing with them. And eventually we're really going to see that drop off. You mentioned about a second or so tire drop off, lap time drop off. We're going to see a lot more as this run goes on. The tires are going to keep degrading, and we're going to keep seeing slower lap times out of the field. Right now, some people are already pushing the 23-second mark for their lap times. So we're going to start really seeing the leaders eventually get there. Michael Thorpe Jr. actually just hit 23-second lap time comparative to his fast lap of 22:107. So, the tires are falling off. There is a lot of wear, and now it's going to see a lot of guys who are really good at this tire wear racing start to move forward. Guys like you see here, Michael Kruger up to 5th.
Watching Ethan back there in 3rd, he's kind of run just that middle line compared to the leaders and Parker all running the bottom. If you kind of watch him, he's kind of running the bottom 1 and 2 and running a little bit higher in 3 and 4. I guess trying to get that little clean air. And he's definitely trying a different approach.
Yeah, runs about a half lane off that yellow line. Through 3 and 4 does Moreno. Moreno's won in a short track before, winning at Iowa for his first career win of the Amsoil Truck Series on JCTV. So he's no stranger to victory lane at the short tracks and roughing it up to get to the front. But right now, a 3rd place run going well so far for this 2019.
Iowa is very similar to Richmond as well. A little bit bigger is Iowa, but very similar. And that race too, I mentioned for Ethan St. Marino that once he got that first win, they were going to start coming, and boy was I right. I mean, that was
Hard got the wall a little bit there off of 2.
Moreno out of the inside and up. Might have had a little contact, but couldn't quite make the move.
Parker's starting to a little contact in the rear end of Knupp on Ethan for a second, Moreno. I don't know if that was just a mistake. He is definitely there, and Kruger's starting to close in as well. Oh, Knupp's struggling.
Oh, Knupp is in the side of Ethan St. Moreno. Up the track goes Moreno. Caution is out. Out back, it looks like it's Oscar Enriquez. Heavy damage to the 56. Take a look at your JCTV replay and see what happened to this 56 car. Looked like it happened. Right here, he hits the wall, slides, and then overcorrects and hits the outside wall. And right here, got a little help. Looked like Dylan Thacker might have got into him, but he heard the engine blow. So Oscar Enriquez's night is likely over early on here on lap 29. The field, for the most part, coming to pit lane.
I think coming to pit road, Ethan showed a little frustration there with Knupp. I think with that contact where Knupp went a little bit wide in 3. I don't think he really appreciated that, but I think they got it settled.
So everybody getting service on pit road, tires, fuel, Rolling off there, you see Dylan Parker coming into pit lane. The race off pit road is going to be won by Luke Nupp. Then it's Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Jonathan Parker, Michael Kruger, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Dayton Cruz, Jeffrey Armistead. Then it's Jaden Porter, Dalton Kelly, Ty McIntosh. That is your top 10 off of pit lane. But however, they are not your top 10 on the racetrack because so far they will be actually. Yeah, Michael Thorpe Jr. pitting a lap later, as is Ryan Bogey. But Thorpe pitting a lap later than the field is kind of a head scratcher.
I'm really confused on that one.
I don't get the idea of that.
The only thing I think of is maybe he wanted to stay out, but then when he saw everybody come down pit lane, he didn't want to take the risk. So instead, he has to pit a lap later and suffer from that fading all the way to the back of the pack.
Not going to lie, I would hope everybody comes down pit road after that run. I mean, everybody was a second off. Other faster lap times. I mean, if you stay on these old tires, you're going to be sitting.
Yeah, but I guess the thought process is for somebody like Thorpe too. I mean, you know, get a couple of those guys to stay out with you, and they stay out with you. You're able to run a little bit longer before you have to make a pit stop, and you know, get off a different strategy than the rest of the field. But again, you know, it's such a big risk you take as the race leaders. So, and it comes back to bite him there with everybody but one other car going down pit lane, taking service. He's going to have to restart this race way back in the field. Looks like he's going to end up lining up about 23rd. Where things stand right now.
Yeah, Dawson, I just asked him real quick, and he said pretty much it was just the result of everyone else making the trip down pit lane, like you guys alluded to, and he said he just made a mistake there.
But definitely something to keep an eye on is that 34 car marching back through the front of the field, if he can. But he's got plenty of time to do it. It's better to make that mistake early on than it is later in the race.
I agree. Absolutely.
So, Josh, what do you take? What do you and the rest of y'all take from this first run? What have we learned?
You know, I mean, these guys were doing a great job keeping it green. I know these guys are great racers, capable of running green. I have to say, a little bit surprised though. First run went 29 laps.
Yeah, we have 35 cars, just about, maybe 34, give or take one or two, and we were able to stay clean for 29 laps. Bravo to the field for doing it that long, but now we get stacked back up here, and the big thing too, passing is going to be a premium. You got to get your spots here if you can get them. Pace truck pulls off. Luke Nupp's going to lead the field back to green. Moreno caught sleeping on the outside lane. Parker jumps to second. And now it's a dogfight out back. Everybody trying to get any spot they can as quickly as possible.
And there's the yellow.
It looks like Brett Bennett might have spun around in the background. Indeed. Anthony Marshall on the wall there on the outside. Jared Wilson is back here in the back as well, pretty slow. But I don't know about you, but I hear a lot of screaming coming over that 47 radio. He's not been happy with practice at all. He has not been happy with how he's been on this track, and bad to worse looks like right here.
Oh, he just ran wide.
Gets into Locklear and spins it out, and luckily it looks like everybody was able to miss him. The aid of Anthony Marshall getting the wall on the outside there, but everybody able to miss Brett Bennett there, spinning out.
Yeah, what happened there? Bridger Olson, of course, taking a conservative entry. Brett Bennett was not expecting the early break, and so Bennett kind of got in a little bit hotter, got wide, and got into Jacob Locklear as a result.
See the field flying by on your JCTV turn 2 camera.
And also, we do have a report from Adam.
Yeah, you guys were right about a little bit of anger coming over the 47 radio after that. He is happy no one made major contact to him after his little spin. He's going to stay out on these tires and just bite the bullet here. With only 4 sets in the pits and them already using one, he's going to have to stay on these old tires after that spin and hope for the best here on this next run. Hopefully a caution comes out shortly for him. And update on Oscar Enriquez, the first caution of the night. Unfortunately, he has disconnected and his race is over. He was upset himself with the 56 car because he qualified about a second off to the pace of the pole sitter, so he was struggling and trying probably just a little bit too hard, and unfortunately his night is going to be over early tonight.
Thank you, Adam, reporting for us on pit lane here. Able to get all the scoops from all the drivers as they race. So we got 2 drivers out so far. 2 drivers for Circumference Ultimate Motorsports. That is Matt Steiner and Oscar Enriquez, 35th and 34th. Anthony Marshall is last in the field, but everybody is on the lead lap. All 33 drivers left racing are on the lead lap, so no one really having a battle for lap down spots yet. We still got a long way to go, but everybody on the lead lap, that means every position matters, and everybody's going to be fighting like crazy for these spots. Josh, what is this restart chain now with our second restart in a row going to look like, do you think, moving forward?
Well, right now, you're just hoping that the saying caution's precautions is not going to be true right here. But I still think these drivers got to be careful because the tires are going to be a little bit colder. Once the tires get warmer, then I think it's going to be back to what we were just seeing during that first run. Everybody try to get to the bottom and just save tires.
Someone had not been mentioned. I'm looking at the relatives. You know who's almost in the top 20 and 23rd? Dylan Parker. Slowly creeping his way up here.
Yeah, currently 23rd for the 3 car after qualifying on the pole. Of course, this bug has never been fixed somehow, some way. Starting on pit lane just breaks scoring for a driver. So I can't show you like anything fun, because if I hit show driver, it's a ghost. He's not real. For any college basketball fans that care, big upset tonight. North Carolina lost to Syracuse. So there you go.
Let's go.
I know another upset that Texas Tech beat Kansas.
Yeah, last night Texas Tech upset Kansas as well. It's a lot of upsets in college basketball. A lot of craziness, like we're going to see craziness here tonight. Luke Knupp, Jonathan Parker, the front row, heading to the Geico restart zone. The green flag is back out, back racing in Richmond.
Jonathan Parker had a great restart, getting down to the bottom in front of Moreno, who is now under attack from Michael Kruger, trying to get cleared for that 3rd position.
Oh, Moreno drifting up, not making contact though, but they're side by side for this 3rd spot. Kruger got the wall there on the front straightaway, trying to make it work to get by the 41. And now look, Parker peeking to the outside of Luke Knupp for the race lead.
He somehow got his nose out there. Still out there is Jonathan Parker.
I keep saying I think this outside line is going to be the winning move of the race. I really believe in it. Once this rubber starts to move on, I think you're going to have to be up there.
Parker wasn't able to make it stick this time yet. He'll fall back in line behind the 5 car. Moreno going to send it into turn 3 to get ahead of Michael Kruger, who'll fall back behind him in the 4th. And Jonathan Parker has won a race here before on JCTV at Richmond in a chaotic method, running out of fuel in the last lap, wrecking coming to the line with Pacey Wyden, I believe it was, that he was involved with that accident. But, picking up the win at Richmond for NAOR series. So, he's won here before. He's had success at this racetrack. It's just a matter of putting it together. And, I think he's going to have a really good chance to put it together. Just trailing Luke Knupp right now. Working plenty of time to go. Just over 150 laps to go in this race. It's nowhere near over.
Parker sent it in that time right there in the middle of 3. It did not stick at all, but I think he's going to get a shot here in turn 3 as well.
He's kind of going back and forth on changing top lane, bottom lane. Do I want to go outside? Do I want to go inside of this 5 car? I mean, he is really, it seems like he's almost playing with Luke Knupp the way he's doing it. He'll go to the bottom. He'll run the bottom. Then he'll go to the top and try to run the top side. He's just back and forth on where he's running. And I think that's going to kind of throw Luke Knupp off of, how he can try to fend off this 48 machine.
I really like what Parker's doing here in 1 and 2. He's doing like a different strength. He's driving in deep on the bottom. He's kind of going up a little bit, letting it roll. And I think he's getting back to the gas a lot quicker than enough to get that run into 3. So he's definitely a lot faster on the exit of 2. He just can't get the close enough in the entry.
We'll go on board with the 48 and Jonathan Parker and see what he's doing there.
Whoa. Watching something different, Dawson. We're watching Jackson Glenossi Ty McIntosh battle. Those two are leaning on each other. Jackson Glenossi just got super loose and now throwing the clutches of Dalton Kelly, who's going to make a pass.
And that also allows Bridger Olson to the inside, the 67. Fastest in practice tonight. Kind of been mid-teens this race so far. Running 12th right now, and look who's right behind him too. Michael Walls has climbed all the way up here. Started 30th in this race, now battling for 13th with Christian Pacheco.
Took the words out of my mouth. I'm about to say Michael Walls just slowly creeping his way up to the picture. Going with Christian Pacheco. I think that's right.
That is how you say it. But also too, look further back. Michael Thorpe Jr. up to 18th right now, trying to find his way back to the front. After that error coming down pit lane for the first caution, not pitting with the rest of the field has left him having to fight his way to the front. Dylan Parker right there side by side with him for 18th. As they go side by side still well away from the race lead, held by Luke Knupp. I want to shout out my math nerds too, by the way, guys. We are a quarter of the way through this race. Luke Knupp has been out front the majority of it so far. Jonathan Parker still breathing down his neck, not letting him get away.
I really like what Kruger is doing here. The man's just kind of buying himself time. You know, he's following these finisher guys around. I think he's just trying to learn right now. I think everybody is just following Ethan and Parker and Knupp around, trying to see what they can learn and what they can apply later if they get to the lead. But they're doing a fantastic job keeping with them.
Parker peeked back inside just a little bit, not able to get there.
Big jumble back here for 16th and 15th all the way back. A lot of cars 2x2. Everybody else kind of just single filed out.
Yeah, I've been watching these guys consistently here for several laps in a row, and what a battle it's been. I've been on edge. Jacob
I'm
Locklear.
feeling a little nervous back here for Michael being in this group. Once everybody else by their time, this man's like, maybe I should never pitted a lap later.
I have to say you're right. Oh, goodness, Jacob
Just like
Locklear.
that. Oh,
Oh, more contact.
Door was stern.
and that's the exact reason you don't want to thank you. I don't know. When Michael gets back to the lead, he might need a new pair.
If he gets back to the lead, that's if he makes it. He's still in 17th place, a long way back from the top. He's going to have to fight.
I think they finally settled it out back there.
Yeah, still battling
right.
with Locklear here for 16th. Notice Luke Knupp's out to about a 4/10 of a second lead now over
What a
Jonathan
run by
Parker.
Ethan. Oh, Ethan got the one. I was about to say he's still on his outside, but that was a good run to 3 and 4.
Ethan's going to have a good chance of getting second here on the outside of Parker down the back straightaway. It looks like he might clear. He will clear. So move Ethan Fonseca Moreno up to second now.
I'm not fully sold on Parker on the long run. I think he's guaranteed a top 5 car. I don't think he has the long run pace like Ethan and Michael and Knupp and all of them do. I think he can keep up with them. I just don't see the long run pace in it just yet. But of course, we can never count him out.
Yeah, never count out Jonathan Parker. Unless he is on the hauler, being taken away from this racetrack, don't count him out. He's got a chance to find his way up to the front to win it. Battles for positions out back still ongoing. Looks like Michael Walls getting by Bridger Olson for 12th. Even further back, Michael Thorpe Jr. just now clears Jacob Locklear. That should be for the 17th position.
Well,
gonna say we got a good battle for the lead. We got Knupp going up higher. He's starting to mirror drive now.
Still a tense battle between these two. Moreno now trying to track down Luke Knupp.
You know, something we haven't mentioned much tonight? That 28 Jaden Porter. He's in the 8th place. He's slowly creeping his way up here.
Yeah, Porter having a great run right now. That 8th place run so far for the 28 machine.
Watching an incredible battle for 21st between Matthew Chastain and Donald Stern. Chastain just cannot make the pass. He's tried so hard. They've been leaning on each other at times. Right now, once again, trying to get to the
big
inside.
wiggle. Big wiggle by, I believe that was Jacob right in front of Austin. Around Sean. It's 3 wide off of Ford for 18.
Locklear's to the wall right now, the outside of that. Sean Kissany through the middle. Oh, McGill and Locklear going to make a little contact there.
How about this run by Austin J. McGill?
And also a little bit earlier, I was watching these two as well, McGill and Kissane. McGill was there. Did not like what Kissane did and came up over saying thank you for that.
It's Jaden Porter just made a pass on Jeffrey Armistead for the 7th spot, so he continues to try to march forward.
Michael for the 15th spot.
See, when you say Parker got around Michael, you're going to have to be more specific because we have 2 Parkers and we have 2 Michaels.
Well, we know the part we're talking about, not the one that's in 3rd. We already know he's going to be up there.
Yeah, Dylan passing Michael Jr. there for 16th. The other Parker and Michael combination right now running 3rd and 4th. It's Jonathan Parker and Michael Kruger as they continue to battle here for this 3rd spot.
I believe they are brothers, right?
They are not brothers. You are not correct. They could be related. They could be related for all we know. We could have just been lied to here on JCTV. We don't fact check this stuff.
That Parker had a brother.
I don't think his name is Dylan, but we could be wrong. Another battle for position. How about it? You mentioned, Jaden Porter. Keep your eyes on him. He's moving up another spot, up to 6th. This 28 machine starting to knock out some spots and pick him off one by one. He has had good laps.
Is it a question that we should ask Jonathan Parker?
Maybe. We might try to find out from him. But right now, Jaden Porter up to 6th. He is on the move forward.
I don't know much about Jaden Porter. He is pretty newer to this series, but I do know that he is teammates with Ethan Fonseca Moreno. And I have to say that I might help him a little bit being teammates with Moreno in the series. Moreno is such a fast driver and a pretty good teacher, if you ask him. Moreno, of course, is part of my team in the Amstel Truck Series, so I know how he is, and he wants to help his teammates so much. So Porter, currently 6th. I think he's really getting advice from Ethan and make his way up the front.
A little backstory, which I might know. The only people I knew coming in this race as a broadcaster was Jaden Porter, Ethan, and Parker. I did a race with them in my first and another league a long time ago in a Cup car, and Jaden was the one that took an Auto Club win away from me in a Cup car, so I know he has talent. So I do know he is a very fantastic driver, but also learning Ethan's going to be a big help in that one.
So while all this has been going on, the battle for the lead is still tight. It's still Moreno on the back bumper of Luke Knupp. Had a couple chances, got to the inside of the 5, just could not make the pass stick. But right now, trying to see if he can find a way to get around Luke Knupp and go to the lead. Moreno is still hounding this 5 car.
And Michael Kruger is hounding Jonathan Parker's back bumper every single lap. I think he is faster. There's just nowhere really go with these cars when the tires wear.
Moreno to the inside for the race lead. Gonna hope to try to use a lap car up ahead as a pick if he can. To the inside of Luke Knupp.
Remember, these two had contact earlier in the race. I wonder how it's going to shape out this time.
Thacker is going to go high, way out of the way for Knupp and Moreno to settle it amongst themselves. Still side by side they go. Moreno trying to get by Knupp for the race lead. He can't clear yet, but he's still to the inside.
And Michael Kruger to the inside of Parker for third.
Moreno slips up. Contact they made. Kruger, they made contact with Parker as well.
This is great racing, I'm not going to lie. This is some good short track racing.
It is amazing how they're able to keep running side by side here. Neither driver wanted to give an inch to the other. No, still on the outside of Moreno. Moreno trying to get that run off the exit that he needs to get by and clear the 5, but he can't do it. Knupp clears so far. He will pull back down in front. Moreno going to try to cross over and go to the outside.
If Moreno gets clear here, he's checking out.
And somebody else I think that's been very quiet, we haven't talked about really tonight so far. Dane Cruz is currently in 5th. Adam picked him to win. Currently running in the 5th spot, quietly been top 10 all night long. Right now on the back bumper of Michael Kruger and Jonathan Parker, trying to see if he can get up there and maybe take away a top 3 spot.
That old cruise missile. You know,
Is that what y'all call him, the cruise missile?
That is what we call him, yes. Dane Cruz, you know, he's one that we always look for at the super speedways, but there's another league that Dane Cruz was running in. I don't know if he still is active with them personally. I don't really care about this other league, but he was dominating that league. It was a truck league as well. And I started to learn more about Cruz watching the series and our involvement with it. So I think that has really boosted the confidence of Dane Cruz. You know, he says he wants to win. I know he wants to win more than just the super speedways. 5th place right now. He's given a challenge to two of the best.
No, for sure. He's been buying his time, been in the top 5. Oh, a little bumper by Michael Kruger at the back of Parker. Think showing that he wants to go. Oh, Parker will loosen the wall.
And Kruger wants this 3rd place spot, trying to keep moving forward. Parker, last week's winner, and of course last season's champion. He is going to end up, unfortunately, he's going to have to let him go. He's, trying to fight with him, trying to keep battling, but, ends up letting the 41 go after the bumper to the back of him.
Yeah, I think the patience timer for Parker finally ran out. Yeah, he's struggling for rear grip. I think Cruz is going to get him right here.
Big battle side by side back here. It looks like it's Michael Walls and Dylan Parker. There's Michael Thorpe Jr. as well, side by side. This is the battle for 12th between Walls and Parker.
Interesting by Jeffrey to run completely against the wall in 1 and 2. I don't know what that was, but that is definitely something I have not seen all night.
Oh, Dylan Parker at his left on the apron.
Somehow he still feels completely safe doing so. To the inside of Michael Walls, now the inside of Jackson Glenn Austin, trying to pick up 2 spots here and go for 11th. Just up ahead, Bridger Olsen battling Ty McIntosh for 9th.
Y'all did say during the pre-race Dylan Parker
Ooh,
the field, did you not?
Dylan Parker slides in front of Jackson Glenn Austin and takes the spot away. Glenn Austin out of the inside of him. What a move, an aggressive move by Dylan Parker, but somehow made it stick. Can he clear? Yes, he can.
Oh, and that 11's going to lose another one.
This is very entertaining to watch Dylan Parker drive to this field like this. This man is moving.
Michael Thorpe Jr. been following along with them, trailing with them, but they're getting stuck behind Glenn Austin and Michael Walls. I believe Ty McIntosh got the wall ahead of Dylan Parker. Thorpe trying to get to the inside of Glenn Austin and then Michael Walls as well. More contact with the outside wall.
as hard as it is to pass, Thorpe needs to make the passes quickly. He needs to stay up there with Dylan Parker. And I was thinking earlier, I didn't say it.
What a by Parker right there. He's going to slide in. That's an easy position for him right there.
Oh.
Meanwhile, back up front, battle is for fourth. Jonathan Parker trying to fend off Dane Cruz, and now Jaden Porter, who is caught up to this pack, and they continue to battle for this fourth spot.
Jaden Porter might be the biggest sleeper in this race right now. Like him or Cruz could probably steal this win.
Thorpe still trying to get by Jackson Glenn Austin.
Leaders have caught the back of, I believe, that is Jamie Wright.
Thorpe might have used up Glenn Austin. Thorpe doored him in the middle of the corner, got by the 11, now setting his sights. Oh, Jackson Glenn Austin gets to the back of Michael Thorpe Jr. What a save by Thorpe, but Glenn Austin's going to go around. Heavy damage to the 11 machine.
That is not what you want to see if you were Luke Knupp and Ethan Forseco Moreno.
Heavy damage to the 11 machine. After that accident, we'll take a look at your JCTV replay to show you what happened. It was that door in the middle of the corner trying to take the spot from Michael Thorpe Jr. here. You'll see it right here. Thorpe heads in. Right there, contact with the 11 on the outside. And coming into turn one, Jackson Glenn Austin just sends it in right here, right in the back of the 34. And you see that slide by Thorpe, but then right there, contact with, I believe, Gabe Cazzola and Sean Kissedy from Jackson Glenn Austin. Gonna spin them around. On board we go with Jackson Glenn Austin.
I would say that was a pretty good run. I think we ran about 60 or so last, if I'm right. I think. Good race on by Knupp right there. Parker going to get third. Gets that position back.
Really quickly, too, want to show you this save by the 34 of Michael Thorpe Jr. How he keeps this car from going into the wall, it's impressive. Doesn't hit Michael Walls. You see the wheel go back straight, and just like that, gathered it back up and saved that car.
And meanwhile, look who's in 9th and 10th. Bridger Olsen. I'm just going to say Olsen and Dylan Parker. Oh, no, Olsen's up to 7. My fault. Parker's in 9th.
Yeah, as it stands right now, we'll take a look at your scoring after the pit stops. Luke Knupp is your race leader. Ethan Fonseca Moreno scored in second. Then it's Jonathan Parker, Michael Kruger, and Jaden Porter in your top 5. Then it's Dane Cruz, Bridger Olsen, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Dylan Parker, and Jeffrey Armistead. That is your top 10. We have 3 cars currently out of this race. Doug Denise in 33rd. Oscar Enriquez 34th. Matt Steiner 35th. Got a couple drivers 1 lap down. And then after that, everybody else from 28th on up is on the lead lap. Looks like Jackson Glenn Austin may have disconnected. Adam, do we have any reports? Is Adam in here to where we can talk to him? Does he have any reports from what just transpired on the racetrack?
Jackson came over the all teams and apologized to Thorpe for what happened, said he didn't want to run him over, and apologized quite a few times, and it looks like he has disconnected from the race after that, guys. Thorpe was very happy that a few other guys didn't run into him, and so was Austin J. McGill, applauding a few guys right behind him who did not run him over. They were trying to check up for Glenn Austin. Interesting thing right now that is happening on the radio, guys. Ethan is asking for a damage check from Jonathan Parker. He said he got into the wall a little bit on the right side.
Yeah, I see a little bit of kind of some scrapes and on the right side, but nothing I'd be too concerned about, especially here in Richmond.
Man, Josh, we're on a short track. Checkers a record. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I driven cars that were damaged more than that. You'll be good. Just put 4 fresh tires on and go. We ain't on, I mean, we're on a mile and a half, then yeah, I want that damage check, but I think for here, I don't think it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, the aerodynamics is not important here like somewhere else. Like
By the end of this
Michigan.
race, these cars are gonna be roughed up more than that.
Green flag back out, back underway. Nup gets a huge launch over Moreno again.
Moreno is not good on the outside and restarts.
Side by side still for second. In the background, a lot of guys still jockeying for position. Nobody giving an inch yet. Ty McIntosh to the inside. I believe Bridger Olsen in the background there. That is a battle for what looks to be 8th. Dylan Parker to the outside of Dane Cruz, trying to pick up more spots. Up to 6th now.
Here comes the man that's gonna probably break everybody's heart tonight. Start in the rear is gonna drive all the way to the front so far.
That number 1 pit stall definitely is helping out for sure in terms of not having to worry about getting off of pit lane, you know, just launching right off. You know, that helped for the start of the race, and it's going to help as well as these stops keep coming tonight if we get more cautions. Rolling to the outside, trying to get by Jaden Porter. Bridger Olsen way up high there on the outside lane.
I'm noticing Parker, he does a lot of slide jobs when he gets to the inside. So, Josh, who do you have on round 3 between Ethan and Canuck?
I don't know. Really tough between those two. Those two, such incredible drivers. I think Nup just has the edge, though.
You think so?
I think so.
I think Ethan's going to get it. I think he's been close.
He's been close and he's had a lot of good chances, but Luke has just been able to keep maintaining. It's very track position dominant. Luke holding the advantage of leading the race, getting the runs off of the corners. He's able to keep Moreno at bay. And it's no shocker, you know, last season the best driver by far was Luke Nup. You know, 5 wins on the season. Of 17 races, he finished top 10 in 14 of them, and for the most part, they were all podium finishes, 2nd, 3rd, or 1st. You know, an average finish of 4.53 for this 5-car last season. An absurd stat line. You know, he is looking to keep backing it up.
I'm going to cut you off real quick. We got 3 wide. It's going to be the 21. He's backing out of it. The 21, of course, is Austin J. McGill. He made a move trying to get around Thorpe, and that cost him a lot. So Michael Walls and Jeffrey Armistead were the other 2 that was involved in that 3 wide. These guys battling real hard back here.
Yeah, Michael Thorpe Jr. back up to 11th now, continuing to try to climb forward after the incident with Jackson Glenn Austin that got him sideways and sent back a little bit further back, but he's been able to recover. He's marching forward a little bit. You know, he has had an up and down race. He's looking to see if he can get back up there with Dylan Parker, who's found his way to 5th.
Walls still battling side by side with the 0-2 of Jeffrey Armistead. These two, I mean, they've been side by side probably since the drop of green flag. We got a caution. It's Jacob Locklear.
Jacob Locklear facing the wrong way there on the exit of turn 4. He was going to go to pit lane, but ends up going back onto the racing surface. We'll take a look at your JCTV replay, see what happened. Looks like some contact there. Might have gotten help getting turned around, and Josh, I believe that is your pick to win, Jared Wilson. Just around he goes, and a slight contact. I believe that's a 15. If that was, couldn't quite tell who he made contact with. Right there, just the 05 actually, excuse me. 05
Question
cars,
is-
Carmen Lopez McDermott.
Why don't you pit here and split it halfway? We are about to a little bit 5 laps after the halfway mark. I don't know what they can go on the field, but it would be interesting to see who pits here and who doesn't.
Gabe Cazzola, Brett Bennett, Sean Castain, Christian Pacheco, a lot of guys towards the back of the field pitting here, guys.
And you know what? Why not? You know, if you're out back, you know, you're not up in the front half of the field leading the way, why not pit? I say that, and then I see some of these guys, it looks like they took fuel only. So, definitely a decision made. Obviously, 16 laps since they came down pit road last time. Fuel only for the likes of Jake Scarborough, Brett Bennett, Christian Pacheco, looks like Ryan Bogey as well. Only took a splash of fuel. Sean Cassain, he took tires, as did Anthony Marshall when he came down pit lane. So, split strategy calls as well, on top of split strategies.
Yeah, I'm surprised more didn't take tires there, Dawson. There's 4 sets laying on pit road for this race. We've gone through 2 for most of the field, and I would think this would be probably a good point to put on that 3rd set if you're in the last half of the field, but as you mentioned, there are obviously a lot of fuel-only calls here.
And again, obviously not a bad decision for everybody that's out back. You know, you're not going to gain any spots. Staying on cycle, staying on strategy with the field. Why not go for something different, you know? Throw something at the wall, see if it sticks. And if it doesn't stick, oh well. You're back where you were when you started. So we continue to pace around. It's Luke Knupp, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Jonathan Parker, Michael Kruger, and Dylan Parker. And of course, we mentioned Dylan Parker climbing all the way up from starting on pit lane. He wins the pole, elects to get out of the car and start on pit lane, and somehow, someway, just over the halfway point of this race, he's back in the top 5.
AKA Jonathan Parker's brother is what I'm going to call him.
You know, I think the two are very different, but you know they both are such fast racers that I think they easily could be brothers.
They gotta be. There's no way. Like, you can't tell me the way they race, they don't drive exactly the same.
Maybe brothers from different parents.
Would
No,
you say?
I'm just gonna get
Would you
Jonathan
say
Parker's
brothers
kid.
from another father or brothers from another mother? That's the question.
Well, it's gotta be from
You know-
another mother. I don't think a dad can have a kid. Like,
I'm gonna say different parents.
Different parents, plural. Yeah, just same last name, different parents. Makes sense. We're going to go back racing here. We're going to have 91 laps to go here at Richmond. It's Luke Knupp leading Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Jonathan Parker, Michael Kruger, and Dylan Parker as they head for the Geico restart zone. Luke Knupp is going to mash that gas pedal and take us back to green in the Virginia's for Lovers 150. Stack up on the outside lane in the background. It looked like Armistead did not get going. We're in a 3-wide situation in turn 1. Austin J. McGill trying to make the needle, thread the needle. Couldn't do it, falls back in line. Kelly washed up. Oh, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer up the racetrack into the outside wall. Somehow saved it. Quickly going to drop back and see what happened. Looks like Michael Thorpe Jr. behind him. Maybe a little contact racing in the corner. But Thorpe now hanging on, battling Michael Walls to his inside. A lot of action on the racetrack right now.
Thorpe was very quick to come over the radio and say, "I am so sorry about that." He really did not mean to. Michael Kruger battling side by side with Jonathan Parker for the 3rd position.
Dalton Kelly slow in the outside lane, way back in the background it looked like. Dropping back to 14th in this 03 car. Just a lot of carnage, a lot of craziness going on right now. Michael Kruger still trying to clear for third over Jonathan Parker. Dylan Parker trying to follow him on the outside lane. Oh, Kruger gets the wall almost into the front bumper of Parker. And whereas Mikey goes around on the outside, here comes Dylan to the inside of Jonathan Parker. He'll slide through, he'll clear.
Parker and Parker battle.
Aggressive driving by Dylan Parker leads him side by side with Jonathan Parker. Dylan will clear for fourth. And somehow, some way, despite doing all that, Dylan Parker put down the fastest lap on the racetrack that last time by.
Yeah, I think, I can't remember if it was you or Hunter said earlier that Dylan Parker was a ghost. I'm starting to believe that, whereas Jonathan Parker is an alien, I think Dylan Parker is a ghost.
It was definitely not me. It was definitely Alan that said that.
Yeah, that was me talking about ATVO, because if I click the driver position button, there, it's working actually now. Shocking. Earlier it was not showing anything, but now it shows Dylan Parker does in fact exist. He is real. He is part of this race. But you see here Luke Knupp still leading Ethan Fonseca Marino, trying to roll him back in, pulling him back closer and closer, and trying to see if he can go for this race lead. Luke Knupp, though, having the advantage of clean air, he is able to defend like crazy and keep that 29 car behind him.
Really don't think there's much battles going on around the racetrack. I think everybody's kind of just single file for the most part.
They've calmed it down a little bit here, trying to make sure that they all make it to the end of this race. The last thing they want to do is wipe themselves out of contention. I say as Moreno sent it in a little deep there, trying to make a move on Luke Knupp, but just couldn't quite get there. So as we approach 80 laps to go, it's Luke Knupp continuing to lead the field as they make their way to the end. The Virginia is for Lovers 150. Luke Knupp leads the way here with under 80 laps to go. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take you on a quick JCTV side-by-side break where you won't miss any of the action.
Hey man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh man. Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola. When the race Alright, fine. Are we good? We're good.
Don't be conventional.
Kevin Harvick?
Be exceptional. Upgrade to Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. It helps your engine last over 250,000 miles.
Wow. What's he doing?
Raving.
He's exceptional.
So is Mobil 1. Yes.
Is this good?
I do not know.
Get 250,000 miles of protection. Upgrade to Mobil.
Where'd you get that?
Oh, you won't believe what just happened.
Don't tell me you got the last Diet Dew.
Yeah.
I love the taste of Diet Dew. What do you want for it? Deal.
Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good.
Hey, hotshot. Meters.
So what do you got in that loader, Tony?
Just did my mail run, Chase. 3,100 pounds of letters from the best fans on earth.
You have this many fans.
Yes.
You sure some of this isn't hate mail?
Nope. All fan mail.
This one's about weight loss.
That's not mine.
It has your name on it.
I'm a popular guy.
It says VIP membership renewal.
Not cool to read other people's mail, kid.
This isn't fan mail.
Mahindra, the official tractor of Tough, and Stuart Haas.
Denny and Harrison, welcome to the OfferPad family.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're excited. You guys ready?
You know we're ready.
You know, at OfferPad, we're fast too. All online, cash offer in 24 hours. But we also like to make sure that each home selling experience feels special, easy, and different. You guys look awesome!
OfferPad really is different.
Yeah, awesome different. Home selling with OfferPad is awesome different. Request your free cash offer today at OfferPad.
This car is sick. Get in!
This has gotta win.
What would you do with your favorite driver? Enter your design at toyotaracing.com.
Man, running out of hot water, that's like running out of gas during a race.
You got that right.
That's why I'm getting a Richmond water heater, man. They're dependable.
A real winner.
They got everything here, too. And the prices, they're low.
Come to Menards. Check out our huge selection of Richmond water heaters in stock today. You'll save big money now. Low prices, lower energy cost.
Man, what an awesome store.
I'm proud to have them as a partner.
Let's go win some races for Menards.
Let's do it.
Save big money at Menards.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3 topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin, I like your PJs.
PJs? Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's Carside Delivery.
You saw it all in JCTV Nonstop. The battle for the lead is still ongoing between Ethan Fonseca Moreno and Luke Knupp. Neither driver giving an inch to the other. As we welcome you back to the Virginia is for Lovers 150 for Season 12 of the Slide Job Racing League here at Richmond. Coming up to the end of this one here, we're going to at least maybe have one more pit stop in the cards. But it's still a tight battle. Moreno's still right there on the back bumper of Luke Knupp.
Jonathan Parker's putting Dylan Parker under attack here. Last few laps.
Got this whole group all the way back to 9th place. That is Bridger Olson and Michael Thorpe Jr. as well, battling for the spot as well. So top 10 all right here together. Still, battle is heating up. An ongoing fight between everybody right here, battling for what is currently 3rd behind Michael Kruger. As Kruger leads the way for these drivers back here, 3rd on back. Still the battle up front for the lead between Moreno and Knupp.
is jumping back up to 8th. So a good rebound by him after that pit stop. Go from the very back to the front. Same with Dylan Parker as well.
Yeah, Dylan Parker running 4th right now, but also, too, that you mentioned Michael Thorpe Jr., the up-and-down race, getting up front, leading the race, not taking a pit stop there, you know, having to come back down pit road when everybody else had already pit, dropping back to the rear of the field, fighting his way back to the front of the field, all for that to get ripped away again by getting contact with Jacksonville and Austin, spitting him out. I mean, it was just been a back and forth all race long for the 34, but resilience out of the 34 camp, still in a top 10 position right now in the waning laps of this race.
Another good car and a good run is that 21 of Austin J. McGill running P11. Started this race, I believe, was way back in the back. He's jumping through the field almost to a top 10, so a good race by him.
Yeah, he started all the way back in 32nd, and now up here battling fringe top 10 spot. Battle is between Dane Cruz and Michael Thorpe for 7th. Also as well, Jaden Porter and Jonathan Parker battling for 5th, just up ahead.
Yeah, all these cars under a blanket back here, just jousting for positions. Don't know who so who doesn't. Losing time, and right now the top 2 continue to drive away. And Ethan Forsaken Moreno, I believe, is still fast. He just can't get around the leader, Canup, who's been on an absolute tear tonight.
Jonathan Parker still continuing to try to put the pressure on Dylan Parker, but now it is going to be Jaden Porter looking at the outside of Jonathan Parker.
Oh, big slide by Parker right there. I don't know if that was a mistake, but he definitely slid very wide, almost put Porter in the wall, and almost wrecked himself onto the hauler.
There's a battle for 3rd. Dylan Parker to the inside of Michael Kruger trying to make it work. Can't quite get there. Kruger going to pull back ahead. And Thorpe to the outside of Jonathan Parker now. Battle for 6th. Thorpe is going to clear. Dylan Parker trying to get to the outside of Michael Kruger to make the run stick. Can't quite do it. Contact made. Spinning around. Dylan Parker can't save it. Around he goes. Caution's going to fly.
It was a good run, and you saw him. He had to lift up that gas and just nowhere for Jaden Porter to go. And just bad luck for Dylan Parker, who was having a great run.
After winning the pole, and then starting out back by starting on pit lane, you know, it was just a constant, you know, digging up from the back. You know, climbing and clawing his way back up here into this top 5. And then right here, just contact with Jaden Porter. Around goes Dylan, and then right here, slides it down the banking.
Don't look now, but look who's in forward.
Take a look again at the JCTV replay. It almost looks like he slows it up, seeing Kruger slide up in front, and Porter, you know, coming up off the corner, just gets in the back of him. That's almost what it looks like from that angle. We got pit stops underway. What could be the final stop of this race tonight for these drivers. It's going to be important to get off pit road first. We're going to watch this exit off pit road. Moreno right up ahead of Thorpe, up ahead of Jonathan Parker there. Luke Knupp not far in the background as well. Luke Knupp wins the race off pit road. Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Michael Kruger, Michael Thorpe Jr., Jonathan Parker, your top 5 after that one. But Luke Knupp maintains the race lead.
I think we're at the point of this race where it's going to really start getting interesting now. We're coming about 50 laps to go in this restart.
Well, coming down to it, we'll get this restart with under 50 laps to go. Hunter, I'm going to ask you this one because this is your first rodeo here for the Slide Job Racing League. This race has been a bit back and forth between hectic and tame, but what stayed the same pretty much is Luke Knupp leading the field. What do you think is going to happen in these final 50 laps?
Honestly, I can't really even tell you the question of that. I don't honestly know. I want to say Knupp has a good chance to win this. He's been the best car tonight, as well as Ethan. But with these cautions, you know, cautions breed cautions. And I know some of these people might start getting itchy. And now you got Michael back up in here. You got the 67, I believe that is, where is he at? Of Olsen. I mean, it's going to be not really a long run nowhere, and that's where Ethan and Luke's been the strongest in the long run. I think it's going to come down to a short run, honestly, now outside line.
Field is going to get double file, stacking it back up.
Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think is going to happen these last 50 laps?
Knowing this field, knowing the drivers we got up here contending for the win, chaos. There's going to be some hurt feelings and some bent bumpers after this one with 49 laps to go. When we take the green flag, it's Luke Knupp, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Michael Kruger, Michael Thorpe Jr., and Jonathan Parker, your top 5. The green flag is out, back underway here at Virginia's for Lovers 150 at Richmond. That's what we call this race. Look who slots into second. Here comes Michael Kruger.
What a great restart by Kruger.
Can he clear Moreno? Not quite yet. Moreno still to the outside.
Kruger's got to make the position quick. He can't sit here and buy time battling Moreno. He's got to make it quick to get to Knupp.
Knupp is perfectly fine with this playing out like this with Kruger and Thorpe. Oh my goodness, Dane Cruz just got wicked sideways there on the exit of turn 4. How did he keep that car straight? Oh, and Dylan Parker pancakes the outside wall. Oh, and more contact around goes Ty McIntosh into the grass. He gets it back going straight. We're going to stay green.
Kruger still can't get past Ethan. Going to try to drive it a little bit deeper. He's got the lift. They're still side by side. Knupp is loving what he's seeing in here. Almost a second ahead now.
Half a second is the gap between second place and leader Luke Knupp. And it continues to grow as they continue to battle side by side. They're going to have to sort this out quick amongst themselves if they want a chance to go to the win.
I feel like the smartest move of the race right here. I know you might not like it, but I feel like for the faster cars, you let them go and let them go battle leader and save your stuff.
Kruger to second. He gets by Moreno. Now he's going to have to set his sights on Luke Knupp. A 0.7 of a second gap for the lead.
Give me the drive of Kruger's life right here. And these last 42 laps. 43, my fault. I would say it'll be a shock if Kruger wins this race, but at the same time, I really don't think it's a shocker if Kruger wins the race. He has the talent to do it. But to come out here and beat Knupp at how dominant him and Fonseca Moreno have been, it will be an absolute stunner.
Yeah, Michael Kruger making his 27th start in the Slide Job Racing League here tonight. Still has yet to find victory lane. As a matter of fact, it's been a troublesome start to his career in this league, he's really not been able to find a lot of success, period. That 41, what was the 81 is now the 41. He's just struggled all this time trying to make these runs work and, do well enough to have good finishes. Third at Daytona, it's Daytona, you say, but everything else after that, it's just really just been downhill for Kruger. No really highlights besides making the playoffs, I would say, but, a best finish of 4th up until Daytona earlier this year. Right now running 2nd, trying to hunt down his first win in this league. It's not been the Michael Kruger that we saw running Saturday nights. It's not that same Michael Kruger.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Kruger. I raced with him a few times. I know he is really good at the plate races, and he's a really good road racer. So that's all I about really know. Don't really know much as a short track driver, but he's definitely proved me wrong tonight. That's for sure.
Slowly cutting into the gap, not a lot, but a little bit. Still a little bit of time to go. Just now, under 42 or under 39, maybe 38 laps to go, I believe, this time by. So he has got time to catch Luke Knupp. It's just a matter of, putting his head down and catching that 5 car. He's going to put together some good laps if he wants a chance to go for this win.
Another thing wrong. Go ahead, Josh.
I just realized my mic was muted. I've been trying to talk this whole time. I was wondering why you guys were cutting me off. About to call you guys Brett Bennett, but Michael Kruger, he actually was doing a race last night that JCTV was broadcasting. It was at Darlington, and he was showing an insane amount of patience in that race. He's doing so good. I was actually spotting for him. Ran into a little bit of trouble, but he was doing an incredible job. Right now, I think the patience is still playing off for him. And you mentioned it. He is cutting into that lead ever so slightly, but right now, not only is he trying to continue to cut into the lead of Luke Knupp, but he's got, once again, an Ethan Fonseca Moreno hounding on his back bumper.
Yeah, he's got a war on 2 fronts. He's got to focus on the offensive out front, catching the 5 of Luke Knupp, but also, too, he's got the 29 of Ethan Fonseca Moreno right there on his back bumper. If he makes any kind of mistake, Moreno's there to capitalize, and not too far behind either. Michael Thorpe Jr. looming in the distance as well. You mentioned last night, Darlington for the Total Nonstop Racing League had that dust-up with Luke Mahone a couple times, a little bit of contact with him and the 15 truck. He has been, very clean in a lot of these leagues. He's aggressive but clean with it, and he had a big issue with that 15 truck last night, but still able to recover and have a good run out of it. Right now, looking to see if he can't pounce and try to keep momentum going and go for his first win in the Slide Job Racing League. But he's going to have to hunt down last season's dominant driver, one of the best there is on the circuit right now. That is Luke Knupp.
It looks like Moreno trying so hard. He's just getting the nose underneath the left rear of Michael Kruger.
These three just under a blanket, trying everything they can. Decide who's going to go try to catch Knupp. I think one of them has the pace, and right now Ethan was the best, but I think Michael definitely has the pace. He was up here earlier into that pit stop, so I know he has the pace in that 34 car. Kruger, I think, is at least a top 3. I don't think he has a longer pace to keep up with Luke Knupp, but he's definitely a good car that has a shine.
Oh, Ethan Fonseca Moreno to the inside. He's there. They're side by side. Very close.
Tight racing for second right now, just behind race leader Luke Knupp. 30 laps to go that time by.
Here comes that other Michael. We've been talking about Thorpe to the inside. Oh, man.
He tried to send it, John. Did not stick.
I think he's trying to set up for it again. He wants to keep running that bottom lane, whereas you see Kruger and Moreno slightly drifting up a little bit. Oh, Moreno's going to get to the outside of Kruger now. Here we go, side by side for second again.
And look who's up in fifth. Look at Olsen. I wouldn't count him out either. What's top 3 finish?
Yeah, Richard Olson, fastest in practice now, finally back up in the top 5, looking to keep pushing forward. He started this race in 20th, really hasn't been a factor as much as we thought he would have been, but now in the top 5 in the waning laps of this race, he might have a say in this top 5, in this top 3.
Now the question is for you, Alan. Do you think Canup's starting to sweat now with it being 28 laps to go this time with Ethan Forsaken Moreno chasing you?
I'm not going to lie to you, Hunter. The last time I was addressed by my last name, I felt like I was in the military. But right now, I think Moreno is the best chance at catching Luke. He has been able to be a lot better through the corner, a lot better, steady with keeping it. And he has been putting down faster lap times than our race leader has been. So I think Moreno, already really rolling in now on Luke Knupp, is definitely going to play a factor here. The battle of the Michaels, Thorpe and Kruger side by side, they go for 3rd right now. But Moreno is pulling in. He is pulling closer onto our race leader. You saw side by side Kruger and Thorpe. Thorpe almost slid into Kruger. They are fighting for this 3rd spot like it is the last lap.
Michael's lap times are very similar to Moreno's as well. I think them two are probably your best chance of knocking off Canup and winning this race. But Canup ultimately has the control of this pace. And Kruger goes a little wide there.
That's the kind of mistakes that Kruger does not need to make if he wants to keep trying to fight for this win. Sliding up way wide there in turn 1. I think he is just slowly losing it. And that's going to keep fading him back away from Thorpe, Moreno, and Knupp as the laps wind down. 24 laps to go here at Richmond.
I'm telling you, I've been a fan of Thorpe for a while, watching him race. I've been commentating so many of these races with you, Dawson, and we've seen Thorpe come so close. Right now, I just see him in this position. It's going to be interesting. 23 to go. Moreno closing in on Knupp. If those two start battling, this could really bring Thorpe into that picture.
That's what I was about to say, John. If these two get side by side, we know how they've been racing tonight. With it being 20 laps, that's definitely going to close the gap a lot more to 3rd place.
I'm telling you, I'm also watching chat. We definitely have some Michael Thorpe Jr. fans in chat.
I see a Luke Knupp, my goat, will win. So it's a back and forth on everybody who they want to win this race.
All I'm going to say, it's going to come down to the last 5 laps like every Richmond race does in real life. It always comes down to the wire somehow, some way. Whether it's a lap car or it's going to be 2 battles.
Right now, Thorpe's best friend is going to be if Moreno can get side by side with Luke Knupp. Coming up to 20 laps to go this time by. Thorpe is trying to slowly reel them in, but he's going to run out of time here soon if he doesn't start getting on that gas and start gaining more and more.
Fastest car on track right now
Moreno's
is that
the inside.
Oh, Moreno with a bubble! Somehow saved it. No contact there with Knupp, at least from what I saw. Moreno gathered it up quickly, saved it, got it back going. Knupp going to get a bit of a gap ahead of Moreno now. 19 laps to go. Moreno's going to have to work back down into cutting that gap again.
Moreno's a lot faster. He's closed the gap once again. These two putting it all on the line. They know what they want to win. They want this Richmond win.
Moreno is attacking the corners so well. Getting down, wrapping the yellow line. He's doing an incredible job. Exactly the line you want to see at Richmond. And that is really helping him. He's once again right here to the back bumper of Knupp. Just a little bit off, but...
Ooh, Knupp got a little loose right there. Oh, that's going to slow him up.
Something else that I'm talking about too is Moreno goes for the lead here. Ethan Fonseca Moreno still also has yet to win on the Slide Job Racing League. 38th career start for that 29 car. Still yet to find victory lane.
Meanwhile, the more these two keep racing, look who's slightly closing more. It's Michael Thorpe.
I guess I didn't even realize that about Ethan Fonseca Moreno. He's going everywhere.
This is where
He's
Moreno
now
made
looking
all
the outside.
I'll say this is where Moreno's made all his passes tonight. He's been on the outside in 1 and 2.
Lap car up ahead That, I believe, is the 05 of Cameron Lopez McDermott. Not really going to be a factor yet, but you see Moreno right there on the back bumper of Luke Knupp. 15 laps to go here at Richmond. It's a 3-horse battle between Knupp, Moreno, and Thorpe.
I'm putting my money on Michael right now. I think he's in the driver's seat.
And I got to imagine, I mean, I don't know where those two stand between that. Oh, good grief. A little bit of contact between Moreno and Knupp.
Hard racing, everybody trying to get these spots that they can get. Moreno wants to get by Knupp as quick as possible because Thorpe is on the back bumper and knocking on the door. He wants to try to get to the race lead. Moreno side by side with Knupp, maybe contact on the exit of the corner there.
Question is, where the lap car go now? That's the big question.
Knupp on the outside of Moreno. Side by side they go still. 13 to go at Richmond. Contact made. Moreno sending it in on the bottom. Knupp going to wash up a little bit. Lap car's going to be the way on exit. He'll gas, he'll back down, and that's going to allow Knupp to run on the outside. Moreno still on the inside.
You know, my first race being the broadcast, I couldn't ask for more of a better race than this right now. This is very entertaining.
Yeah, oh my.
It's go time. They all three are trying to push here. Yeah, Moreno, Thorpe on the outside. Battle for second. Can Thorpe clear him?
That was a beautiful move by Thorpe.
What a pass by Thorpe to get to second. Now with 11 laps to go, he is right within striking distance for the race lead.
I like that decision by Thorpe there to go with Knupp and get around the faster car of Moreno. Put himself in the driver's seat. That was a beautiful, excellent move.
I wonder how much love lost between these two still exists.
What do you mean by that? These two have history?
These two have history, and I can't imagine that they're thinking about each other right now. I think they're more thinking about trying to go for a race win here tonight. Thorpe is all over the back bumper and up. For Luke Knupp. Knupp! Sideways he goes. For Luke Knupp, I mean, last season was a 5-win season. Michael Thorpe Jr. has not won since season 9. He's come close so many times to knocking down that door and getting that second win, but just hasn't been able to do it. Right now, it's within his grasp. 9 laps to go here at Richmond. It's a 3-horse race. You see the lap car, Anthony Marshall, out of the way. Does not want to be part of this. Thorpe still chasing Luke Knupp.
Man, I am absolutely shaking in my boots right now. This is insane.
Caution is out!
No, not the
Gabe Cazzola is spun out off of 2.
Oh my goodness!
And fans, you have to wait for a good finish if we're going to have... it's got to get crazy.
Robert Lukens had queued up on the radio a couple times the last few laps, guys, about racing the 18 car, and it seems like it's boiled over.
We were set up for a good finish, but that's gonna.
That looks like it was it was somebody else actually. It looks like Matthew Chastain in the 12 is the one that got into the back of Gabe Cazzola. Is centering turn 1 right here.
All right, Alan and John and Kuhn, what do? Do you take 2 tires? Do you stay out? Do you take 4?
I'd love to know who this Alan is you're talking about, but yeah, you know, I mean, I think, you know, if you're up front, it might be a decision to stay out. But if you're out back, I think you might take that risk. Go ahead, Pitt. You know, take yourself some tires and some fuel, and, you know, just hope to God that you can make it. It looks like, split decision, yeah! Ian Fonseca Moreno stays out, and it looks like the rest of the field is going to pit. The opposite of what happened to Thorpe last time. He'll pull down pit road with the pack. Moreno stays out, but he's not alone. Jared Wilson and Michael Walls both stay out as well.
The only way I see staying out paying off here is if you get yellows. He's going to need at least 2 of them. If this thing goes green from the start of this race, he's not winning it.
Oh, Michael Thorpe and Michael Kruger, but they both took 2 tires. Right sides only for the 34 and the 41. Dylan Parker as well. Only right side tires. Luke Knupp first off pit road on 4 fresh tires in 7th. This is going to come down to it. It's all about what you took and how you took it. It's going to be a split strategy call race yet again.
Hey, Hunter.
guess.
Welcome to the wonderful world of broadcasting.
Hey, it's okay. I've been in the driver situation. It's not fun. I'd rather be up here than be down there during this situation.
This is incredible.
So our scoring,
the green.
Our scoring is broken, if you can tell. As you can see on the right side of your screen with Moreno blinking out, it for some reason is completely broken scoring. So let's give you a rundown of where we're at. Ethan Fonseca Moreno is your race leader. Then it is the 83 of Jared Wilson, the 9 of Michael Walls. Those 3 drivers stayed out under this last go around. They did not pit for tires. In 4th, not 3rd, in 4th is Michael Thorpe Jr., who is on 2 tires. Same with Michael Kruger behind him and Dylan Parker behind him. They are on right sides only. Luke Knupp is out in 7th. He is on 4 fresh tires. And then after that, it's kind of just back and forth split strategy. Brett Bennett took 2 tires. Bridger Olsen took 4. Scoring is completely broken. I'm not sure how it happened that way. I'm not sure why it's happening that way. But with 4 laps to go, we're going to have to, like, really quickly hurry up and see if I can't get this fixed for you. So that way you guys can get a good finish here on JCTV and actually accurately see who's running where. So we'll quickly boot that back up and see if we can get it fixed. But I mentioned, you know, Moreno is your race leader. Jared Wilson is 2nd. Then it's Michael Walls in 3rd. They all electing to stay out. Michael Thorpe Jr., Michael Kruger, and then Dylan Parker. All 3 of those drivers took right sides only. Luke Knupp took 4 tires. He is back in 7th. So a decision to make 4 tires might be what cost Luke Knupp this race win. Then you see back there as well, Brett Bennett is in 8th. He also only took 2 tires. But man, it's going to be a big shakeup here in this finishing results if we are able to stay green the rest of the way. I believe this should be an unofficial green-white checkered. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So, yeah, an unofficial green-white checker there. Our scoring is fixed. Perfect timing as we get ready to go back green. 2 laps to go. It's Moreno, Wilson, Walls, Thorpe, Kruger. The green flag is going to fly. 2 laps to go at Richmond. Look at Kruger to the inside. Kruger sitting in deep on the apron. 4 wide at Richmond. Are you kidding me? Luke Knupp gets through. Oh, Jared Wilson doors Moreno. And Luke Knupp gets through to the lead. They're wrecking in the background. Caution's out. Luke Knupp was so close. Oh my god, I think we have to show the entirety of that restart to show you the chaos that happened here that allowed Luke Knupp to get to the race lead. If this indeed is the move that wins Luke Knupp the race, oh my goodness. 4 wide through turn 2 at Richmond. He gets clear, and then he gets right to the inside of Moreno. Right here, Jared Wilson makes contact with Moreno, doors the crap out of him. And then after that, Brett Bennett gets sideways, gets turned, and there in the background you see the whole field just kind of stacks up in 2 separate accidents almost right there on the front straightaway. See the flagman waving the white flag, but right here, Bennett goes around, and then not too far ahead, Jared looks like actually Jonathan Parker and Michael Walls get turned around. You'll see the carnage happen down the front straightaway here. There's the Bennett wreck, and then Michael Walls and Jonathan Parker spinning out as well. Looks like, I believe, Ryan Bogey was involved. Ty McIntosh, some heavy damage. As it stands, your race leader, the right decision to take 4 tires, it looks like, Luke Knupp. Olsen as well, I believe, did take 4 tires. So yes, he's on the same call that we saw Knupp take. What's really going to hurt Moreno, though, is restarting on older tires on the outside lane. He's not had a good shot doing these restarts in the outside lane. Let me unmute everybody else so that everybody else can hear Hunter Peach and Josh Coppernall talk, because I forgot to do that. But anyways, you know, you said it, Hunter. You know, Olsen is on 4 tires as well. He's on the same call that Luke Knupp is. Moreno was on older tires, did not pit under that last caution, so it's really going to be tough break for Moreno to try to keep it up there.
I'm wondering the question, is someone try to pull a Knupp restart and go all the way down the bottom like he did? I am still trying to scratch my head how they made it through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 being that 4 wide. That was phenomenal.
So Luke Knupp has said that he wants the top line, which is pretty interesting, because I was going to say, if you're Bridger Olsen, you're going to want to be on Knupp's back bumper and get ready to go. But Knupp, I think he was thinking the same thing, so he wanted the top here. And
yeah, I think.
Johns, look who it puts behind him.
Yeah, it puts Thorpe on 2 tires right behind him, but I think it's a smart call by Knupp. He can get the launch. Moreno will spin the tires directly in front of what could be Knupp's biggest competition on this restart, Bridger Olsen. So definitely a smart move by Knupp in an attempt to win this race.
Well, we're about to find out.
Pace car is off. Overtime at Richmond. Knupp is going to lead the field back to green. And they stack up on the outside line behind Jonathan Parker. Here comes Bridger Olsen to the inside of Moreno for second. He's going to have to make quick work to chase down Luke Knupp, who's out to almost a half-second lead. Through 3 and 4, if they make it clean, they'll take the white flag. Indeed, they do. Luke Knupp looking to pick up career win number 7. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Luke Knupp, you're wrecking the back. It doesn't matter. A dominant performance all night will wind up in victory lane. Luke Knupp wins the Virginias for Lovers 150. Thorpe wrecking across the line, but still manages to get third. Still wrecking in the background. But it is Luke Knupp who takes home the checkered flag. Oh, Dylan Parker taking out Jaden Porter there after getting turned around backwards, but burns it down. Of course, that winning move, we mentioned it, 4 wide in turn 2 to get to second, and then to get to the race lead, the next set of corners, to eventually hold on and win. It's his first win of season 12 here in race number 3. But he gets to celebrate, taking home the checkered flag tonight.
yeah, no surprise that, you know, Luke Knupp able to find victory lane and find it early. We figured Luke Knupp would score victory, and I'm sure at least I assumed he would get one pretty early here in the season. So Luke Knupp just blew the engine, but he's a race winner.
Yeah, I'm about to say that engine don't matter.
Not anymore, no.
So with that will lead us into some post-race coverage of tonight's events. And the first driver we'll get a hold of after that is going to be the driver of the 34 car. That is Michael Thorpe Jr., who has, I believe, we'll save Hunter from having to do an interview for this one. He's brand new, so we won't make him do it. So if we still got a hold of Adam, you want to talk to Michael Thorpe Jr.?
Sure. Hey, Michael, it's the guys up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, solid copy.
Well, it was a good run back through the field, Michael, but can you take us through your race, through your perspective after a great early run of this?
The car just felt really solid, honestly, and I've actually found a line that actually worked pretty well here for this car, so I just stuck to that line, and it worked out perfect on like all the tires in the long run. If I didn't get turn again, if I get it sideways a little bit, I might have been up to the front of the field quicker. And I do want to apologize for the double zero. I did not mean to do that for sure. But oh man, if that late caution didn't come out, man, I would have had that. I had such a good run.
Yeah, it was such a fun battle at the end of the race. I was hoping it was just going to stay between you three and myself before that caution, because that looked like it was going to set up to be just a classic between you three. But one thing you mentioned was that slide you had early on after contact with Jackson Glen Austin. What a save that was into turn one. Did you think that was night over there?
Honestly, I really did, because he hit me pretty good to give me that sideways. I guess I had enough grit to keep the rear end of me a little bit more. So it was a little surprising.
Well, when it was all said and done, like you said, you just couldn't get there with that green-white checker. So it was still a podium run for you here tonight. Who do you want to shout out and thank to get back up to the front tonight?
Definitely my dad, my grandmother, and definitely my school, for sure. They keep me going. And definitely my team.
All right, well, thanks for your time, Michael. Sorry it didn't work out best of all ways after that unfortunate mishap early in the race. Still a good recovery, and best of luck next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Was driver on the number 34, Michael Thorpe Jr., who kind of inherited the pole there early, guys, and walked away with the lead early on. Had that pit road mishap and recovers to a third-place finish. I believe Josh has caught up with our second-place finisher tonight.
And that I have Bridger Olson. Man, I'll tell you what. I thought you and Luke were crazy for taking 4 tires there. After I saw the drivers that stayed out and then the few that took 2, I'm like, there's no way that's going to work. But you got up to second after a caution came out. But just kind of walk us through, you know, that pit stop, took 4, and what happened in front of you.
Yeah, I thought it was stupid too, but yeah, I hope that green white checkered made up for the whole race. That was super exciting. Uh, yeah, I'm happy I took 4. I mean, yeah, I didn't think 2 tires were gonna be that slow. I thought I was gonna lose all my track position, but it worked out. So thank you to everybody telling me to take 4.
Then the restart, of course, you restarted third, and no choose in this rule. The only one that, or no choose in this league, the only driver that gets to choose is the leader. So you actually ended up restarting behind Ethan Fonseca Marino, who actually was on no tires at all. He stayed out. So trying to catch up to Luke Nupp there with just a green white checkered. Um, how what was the plan um, in your mind?
Yeah, it was kind of a compromise because Luke wanted to give other people a countdown, but obviously we were racing for the win, so just yeah, he counted me down, and I got the jump on the restart to pass him, but not enough for him. Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't gonna have anything for him anyways.
All right, great run tonight. P2 finish. Sponsor shout outs. Who gets it done for you?
Cruise Auto Racing, Toyota, uh, Dane for putting out a good car. That's it.
All righty. Well, congrats on the runner up finish, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bridger Olson, your second place finisher, the number 67 here at Richmond. Dawson, we head to you, who has our race winner in victory lane. Maybe.
See if we can get him to talk to us, because man, oh man, did he call his shot. Let's see. I think somebody already got him. Let's see. There is the man himself, the Undertaker, coming in here. He called his shot. If you listened last week on JCTV, you would know that Luke Knupp called his shot. I did not want to pick him because I didn't want to jinx him, but guess what? It worked out in the end. Luke Knupp, your race winner. First off, Luke, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be able to talk to you this week, Dawson. It's like you said, called it last week. I knew I was going to win this thing. I hate Richmond with a passion, and I thought I was going to suck, but I guess we ran a pretty good race.
Yeah, last week at Homestead, you finished second. You said you had to talk to Josh because of it, and then you said that you were going to win this week because of the same thing we saw last season. You started off the season with an okay finish at Daytona, second place, second race of the season, win the third race of the season. That's exactly what you did again. Take us through that race from your perspective. For the most part, it was you out front, but as that later race went on, what were your thoughts as you had guys like Thorpe and Moreno catching up to you there?
Yeah, it was really kind of just track position. I didn't think I was that good. The runs early in the race, like all the way up to the second to last caution, I was good. Long run felt like I could pull away when I needed to, could save, and they would catch back up. But that last like 40 lapper until the penultimate chaos caution, I burned my stuff off, and I thought the race was over. And then like Thorpe got around Ethan, and like the gap kind of stabilized. So I was like, okay, maybe I have a chance. But I know how some of these guys race. Like Thorpe is a great racer in his own right, but I know he will do whatever it takes to win one of these, which rightfully so. And so when someone's just close to you at a short track like this, things can happen. So I'm glad. Kept the 5 car up top. Led us 172 laps. Fast lap of the race. Pretty good night.
Absolutely, and we head into next week. I have to double check the schedule just to make sure before you probably say it and tell me what it is. We are heading to Las Vegas, yeah. Las Vegas, where you, I believe, have also picked up a victory there as well. So, going to a track that you've won at before. Last season, actually, you picked up a victory there. So, what's that like, knowing that the track next week you're going to is also a track that you're the most recent winner at?
It would feel great, but I'm not going to be able to make the race. So, unfortunately, so that's why I really had to kind of put in a few burner races here, get second and first, and then we'll miss next week and be right back at it. But no, I'm definitely upset. I can't make the race next week. Like you said, won Vegas last year, kind of dominated as well. So, kind of sucks, but no, just a great race overall tonight. Great momentum, and hopefully we can continue on some strong runs.
Alrighty. Win tonight's race. The floor goes to you, teammate, sponsor, shoutouts. What got that 5 machine to victory lane after the dominant performance?
First off, just Luke Knupp Racing, and Oscar Enriquez for making this awesome scheme. Glad I could finally put it up in first. And then, just everyone else, Team BBR. Ethan had a great night until that last caution. And Jaden, I think, got a top 5 as well again. So, solid night for us. And then, just all the ownership guys and SJRL, everyone who puts it together. Dane for, filling in the shoes for Noah, and you guys for broadcasting. Thank you guys.
Alrighty, that is your race winner tonight, Luke Knupp. He picks back up where he left off last season, finding victory lane yet again. Congrats again, Luke.
Thank you guys.
And since we haven't done it yet, let's take a look at your finishing results. It was Luke Knupp, Bridger Olson, and Michael Thorpe in your top three. Michael Kruger able to bring it home fourth, and that impressive performance by Jaden Porter, fifth place at the end of the night. Dylan Parker, Sean Kissany, Ethan Fonseca Moreno fades back to eighth. Jonathan Parker in ninth, and then Christian Pacheco rounding out your top 10 there.
And finishing 11th is Dane Cruz, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer 12th, Matthew Chastain 13th, Austin J. McGill 14th, 15th is Jared Wilson, 16th Jeffrey Armistead, 17th Robert Lukens, Ty McIntosh 18th, Anthony Marshall 19th, and Cameron Lopez McDermott finishes 20th.
21st, you had Ryan Boogie, and then followed by him, Jake Scarborough and Brett Bennett, who had a lot of ups and downs in this race. Dolan Kelly in 24th, who ran top 10 for most of the night. He had a good run till late in the run. Dylan Tracker in the 25th position. Michael Walls finishes 26th. Gabe Kazoo, 27th. Hunter Karsten in the 28th position. Jamie Wright in 29th. And Jacob Locklear rounds out the top 30.
In 31st was Donald Stern. Jackson Glenn Austin brings it home 32nd. Doug Denise in 33rd. 34th with Oscar Enriquez. 35th, Matt Steiner. And 37th did not grid for the race. That would be Caden Ackings. So a hectic, chaotic finish to this one tonight leads to Luke Knupp still finding a way to victory lane. It was a great race, but Hunter, your perspective, it's your first time witnessing a slide job race. What were your thoughts after that one?
Definitely interesting, for to say the least. They left it all on the line. Good battles from the top four with Knupp, Ethan, Michael, whenever he was up there, Kruger, Parker. A lot of ups and downs, people going from the top 10 to the back. Lots of, drama. I think that's everything. Well, I would say it was very entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, Josh, what were your thoughts after that race?
Yeah, I think this was a great race for these guys tonight. Drama, kind of unpredictable. I mean, it started to get to the point where it was very predictable, with Luke Knupp looking like he was the one that was going to win, but things got unpredictable. And then if you told me that Luke Knupp was still going to be the winner, I would have said you're crazy. Well, I would have been the crazy one there. But just all around, incredible Richmond race. And I have to say, I am not going to leave disappointed after that one.
I don't know if you're still here, Adam, but you were on pit lane getting to deal with all the drivers and talk to them. What were your thoughts at the end of this one?
Yeah, you guys mentioned drama. There is going to be a lot of beef after this one. Already discussions in the Discord and unhappy people. Looking forward to next week, so I think some of this is going to carry over onto the track in Vegas. It's going to be really interesting to see how it's going to move forward with these guys going into a mile and a half track next week after the tempo's kind of flared on this short track, and a lot of different people upset with the way that one finished tonight.
Yeah, it's all came down to the end of it, and a lot of hurt feelings, some torn bumpers, and the end of the night, chaos reigns supreme. So we can check off Richmond for Tuesday night here for the Slide Job Racing League from this week on JCTV. Up next, this Friday night, it's the NAOR Series. They head to the Daytona Road Course to take on the High Banks and Sharp Turns of the Horseshoes. Don't miss that one. That's 8:45 p.m. Eastern this Friday night on JCTV. And then Saturday night, the AMSOIL Truck Series heads to the High Banks of Fontana, down to the track that no longer exists because somehow we were able to magically bring it back. We're racing there this Saturday night, 7:45 p.m. Eastern on JCTV this Saturday night. Don't miss that one. Next Monday, Daytona doubleheader for Total Nonstop Racing. That's going to be a fun one as part of the Tabletop Trio Gaming Triple Track Super Speedway there's a title there
Something
that I'm.
like that.
It's something like that. But they'll be there next week, and then of course next Tuesday night here for the Slide Job Racing League, we'll be heading to Las Vegas, where Luke Nupp will not be defending his crown because Luke Nupp is not GOAT. So that is the end of the broadcast for us here tonight. We want to thank you as always for tuning in and dealing with us, no matter how much we do talk banter. You still tune in, you still watch the races, and we appreciate you for it. For everybody here in the booth, including Hunter Peach making his booth debut, Josh Compernol, Adam Kuhn, this is Dawson Allen signing off, thanking you for tuning in to another edition of Slide Job Racing League here on JCTV. I want to thank you for tuning in and tell you, have a great rest of your night.
Change the station, but there's something I can do.